my passive income right now is probably $3 million a year, just straight passive.
Wow.
And my active income is about $22 million a year. Wow. So I make about $25 million a year. My goal is for my passive income to be $25 million a year.
And then, which will be the next step?
Well, when my passive income is $25 million a year, I expect my active income to be $250 million a year.
Ragazzi, qui abbiamo un milionario che un multimilionario che ha venduto la sua azienda e ha aiutato l'azienda che l'ha comprata a passare da 1 miliardo, billion is miliardo, 1 miliardo a 4,5 miliardi. Questo è 1%. Bene, benvenuti nel nuovissimo episodio 1% podcast. Oggi abbiamo un ospite massivo, ascoltate bene, aprite le orecchie perché questo qui è uno dei miei mentori, tra l'altro, Brandon Dawson, ce l'abbiamo qui, adesso ci presenteremo. Brandon è uno dei miei mentori che seguo da 2 anni, ci ha permesso di crescere veramente tanto ed è una persona che ha fatto crescere anche un'azienda da 1 miliardo a 4 miliardi e mezzo e un patrimonio netto di più di 100 milioni, ha venduto la sua azienda per 150 milioni, è qualcosa che abbiamo fatto, siamo qui a Miami nei loro studi a registrare, è una figata pazzesca. Ragazzi, state bene, attenti e soprattutto mi raccomando, condividete questo podcast, metteteci la valutazione sulle varie piattaforme e aprite bene le orecchie perché un podcast così in Italia non lo vedrete mai più, a meno che non lo porto non convinco questo ospite a farlo di nuovo. Ci vediamo nel podcast.
He's teaching me some Italian, so we're going to go slow because I'm going to do it in English, and he's going to teach me how to do it in Italian. Yeah. This will be a 3-hour podcast, but it's going to be badass.
I have to learn a lot of English. You can say from my accent, from my bad English, but I think we can understand each other. I think in Italy we have a lot of potential because really the creativity that we have, the products that we have are among the best in the world, right? But we lack the knowledge of how to run a business, how to promote, how to recruit, how to sell, how to manage people, how to be a leader. That's why I'm here with you right now, right? So I think this could be a really good opportunity to grow the Italian market. And then even beyond, because I won't stop there, right?
Yes, good.
It's just a starting point, but it's a big one for me because Italy creating good products, even digital products are really good in Italy, but we have a limiting belief. So that's why we are here.
That's great. And what this shows, when I was bought by an international company and I rolled out to 8 countries, one of the first countries I went to was Italy. And so I did a talk to 450 business owners, and it was I can't remember the name of the village I was in, but it was beautiful. I rented a 430. I rented a 488 convertible, I think.
Wow! And
drove through the country, and it was awesome. I ended up buying the car and shipping it back here because I loved it so much. But
where it was in the north, in the center of Italy?
It was an hour outside of Milan.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can't exactly. It was south of Milan, but I can't remember exactly what town it was in.
Maybe in the north, like more in the. I think more in the north because usually foreign people when they come in Italy. They go to Como Lake.
It wasn't right? Como. Yeah, Lake Luigi. There's Lake Liguro. There's a lake before Como. It's. I guess it would be going
Garda.
East.
Garda.
Yeah.
Lake of Garda. Yeah.
My buddy lived on that lake.
Oh, okay, it's a beautiful lake.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful. And the little town. And it had a nightclub in it.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Nightclub. We have a lot of nightclub in Italy. Really good ones.
Great wine, great food, great pasta,
great
beautiful
people.
women, great people.
Yeah.
I love it. Beautiful language.
Yeah, we are little, but we have pretty much a lot of things.
Yeah.
And we vary a lot from the north to the south, right? So you have Sicily, that we have a video maker here right now that is recording to. And they are so different from Naples and from Milan. They are 3 different kind of people thinking, also language. I should say sometimes.
Yeah, the language is entirely different because I was down in Sicily in 91. I spent 3 weeks there and I learned a few words and I went up to Milan and they're like, no.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Which word did you learn in Sicily?
I probably shouldn't say it.
We won't translate that. We won't translate.
Yeah, they weren't good words.
So, just can I ask you some questions for the Italian market? Yeah. So, just to introduce you to the Italian market, who are you? I mean, you are. I know who are you. In USA, a lot of people know who are you, even in Italy. But could you introduce yourself?
Mi chiamo Brandon Dawson.
Yeah.
And I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I've built multiple businesses. I sold my first business that my private equity group sold to an Italian firm.
Yeah.
And so I had to spend a little bit of time in Italy, which is the business I was doing.
Can we say the company name? Because
Amplifon.
Yeah, it's really popular in Italy.
Largest hearing aid retailer in the world, Amplifon.
Yeah.
And the CEO of Amplifon was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I was one of two companies that expanded Amplifon into the United States.
Wow.
And before they bought my company, I worked on the manufacturing side and they were my customer.
Wow.
So I had a many years experience.
And so let me recap this one because just to know if we are on track. So you started the company, you went public, right?
Yep.
And then you grew that company like to 10 million?
75 million.
75 million.
That's right.
And then they, with an excuse, I should say.
The private equity group decided to sell it.
Yeah.
And we sold it to Amplifon.
To Amplifon. Yeah. Okay. And then what you started? You started another company, right?
And then I started Audigy Group.
Yeah.
And built that to the largest group in the United States.
Okay.
And
it was like 38 million. You said?
38 million. And I sold that for 151 million.
Wow. 77 times EBITDA.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I sold that in 2016 to a Danish hearing aid manufacturing company.
Wow.
And then I helped them go from $17 a share. It was $1 billion company. And then when I left, it was $94 a share.
So you helped them go from 1 billion to 4.5 billion?
4.5 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Can I say something in Italy?
Yeah.
In Italian. Ragazzi, qui abbiamo un milionario che un multimilionario che ha venduto la sua azienda e ha aiutato l'azienda che l'ha comprata a passare da 1 miliardo, billion is miliardo, 1 miliardo a 4,5 miliardi. Questo è 1%. I'm saying to the Italian market that you are in 1%, even less than 1%. I mean, that's why we love bringing people like you in Italian market because they need that. They need to know that it's possible, right?
Just like the reason I partnered with Grant Cardone is I needed that, right?
Yeah.
We all need that.
Yeah.
And so think about this. When I started my second company, it was 14 years. I grew it to $38 million in 14 years.
Wow.
I partnered and started this new company with Grant Cardone 4 years ago, and we'll do 135 million this year.
In 4 years, from 0 to 135. How many capital did you raise to do that?
0.
Yeah, that's the point. That's why I'm here, right? You are a genius. I mean, I've been following you since 2 years ago, and I'm shocked every time you speak. That's why, because you bring not only passion, but results, and you prove them, right? So that's the best part. Could you talk about how did you join with Grant Cardone?
Well, my wife at the time, she suggested that I look, I knew what I wanted to do. I had all the research. I had all the success. I just didn't know how to do it fast. And she had suggested that we look at some of these social media people.
Yep.
And after going through them, I'm like, nope. And then Grant, I was like, no.
There's no way I've been following you.
Never.
Yeah.
Hey, Grant Cardone here.
And when you go in social media, you see Grant.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right?
Everywhere. Everywhere in the world we go, people are like, Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
So, except for in Italy, it was Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone.
Cardone is a popular name in Sicily, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
Well, down in the
Cardone.
south, yeah, for sure. So she showed me some social media, and then got me interested, and I started reading his books, and I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's a big promoter, but he's really super legitimate, intelligent.
Which is the book that made you realize
10X Rule.
10X Rule, yeah.
And then I read them all. And then we went to his 2019 convention, and I knew what I wanted to build, and I knew what I had engineered, and I just wanted to know, would I conflict with what he does, complement what he does, or would we amplify what we both do? And beautifully enough, there was no conflict. There was 100% complement, and we could amplify what we both do. So I went and saw what I needed to see, so I approached him and said, hey, we should talk about partnering.
Yeah, could you explain how did you convince him? I mean, how did you persuade him to do business with you? Because you were unknown. I mean, you were known in another kind of
but
world,
totally
right?
unknown to Grant. Now, one of my dear friends, one of my mentors, dear friends, and somebody I helped grow their business was speaking at his event.
Wow.
And so we went to dinner the night before he spoke. And that's Dr. John Maxwell. So #1 leadership guru in the whole world.
Yeah.
And he and I are very close. So after he spoke, he pulled me up on the side stage and he brought Grant over and he said, hey, and he just pointed to Natalie and I. He loves Natalie and I. I mean, we are family with him. He points and he does something. I don't know what he says though. And then we go sit down and he texted me because he left and he said, hey, I told Grant, if he gets a chance to meet you, he should, and anything you tell him is the truth. So Grant, when he met me, he's like, man, you come with high regards, but he had no idea who I was.
Okay, why? And what did you say there to convince him?
I said, there's 10 elements to building any successful business. You're an expert at 3 of them. I'm an expert at 7 of them. If we put them together, we could build the biggest business in a $12 trillion space. Wow. And add so much value to the people that are already working with you that we would be the #1 in the world.
Wow, that's great. And you're doing that. You're on track.
That was 4 years ago, yeah.
Wow, congrats. And I would like to ask you some questions for Italian market. As I said, Grant, I love Grant, I love you. Sometimes in Italy, we see, not me, but we as country see the America as like a paradise. It's like something that is not achievable. And what would you say to Italian people that would like to do money, to grow their business, to serve their community, but as this false belief? Because me and you, we know that it's false.
Well,
right?
let me ask you, is there anybody in Italy that's made money?
Yeah.
Are there wealthy people in Italy?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of different companies in Italy that have wealthy people.
Yeah.
So, in fact, Italy is the innovator of some of the best products in the world. And that's created wealth, right?
Yeah.
So my belief is if one can do it, anybody can do it if they apply themselves. So my question to all Italians would be, what could you do to create wealth where there's already an example of people that have done it to create wealth?
Yeah.
You don't have to reinvent and create something from scratch.
You usually talk about modeling, right?
Yeah.
That's why you're talking about that. And what do you think about the money? I don't know if in USA, I should say, you are based on Scottsdale, right? Mm-hmm. Or Miami or other USA country. It's like a taboo. Is it a word in English, taboo?
Yeah.
The thing that you don't say, right?
Yeah.
But in Italy, no, don't talk about money. Don't talk about money. Don't talk about money. What will you say to those people that want to do money, but they won't talk about money? Because you are really transparent about your money, about the company's money, about profits.
Yeah, because to me it's in what's the favorite sport in Italy?
Calcio, soccer.
Okay, would soccer be a fun sport if there was no goals?
Yep, at all.
What would be the purpose of playing soccer if you didn't keep score?
Yeah.
So I talk about money because money is a score.
Yeah.
And it's how you know if you're improving, if you're winning, or if you're losing. And so in a culture where people have been taught not to talk about money, the law of attraction is a real thing. It's intention, action, attraction. That's how it works.
It's not magic. I mean,
it's not magic.
A lot of Italian people, they think that it's magic.
No, it's intention.
It's intention.
Action. Then you attract.
Yeah.
So if you know what you want and you take action towards that objective, you tend to attract it. Okay. So if you're spending your time talking about what you don't want, you attract it. The algorithm is whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're talking about, and whatever you're doing, you get.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about not having money and you're telling everybody they can't have money, you're never going to have money. You will attract no money because that's what you're fixated on.
So when they say like, our market is too little, we can't find good people.
That's awesome. That creates unbelievable opportunity for the one person that wants to own that market.
Yeah.
It's easier to penetrate a small market than a big one.
Wow.
Can't find any good people. That's awesome. That means the few people that are amazing that are here that want to win with me, we're going to have no competition. You see, every time somebody throws out an obstacle, it's either an obstacle or it's an opportunity.
Yeah. And what do you say to the people that say, I don't have money? Because to make money, we need money.
Yeah. I would say that you don't need money to make money. You need intention, you need action, and then money materializes. So imagine a world where somebody is from a small town and they go and do what you did. Like your English is very good. I wish my Italian was as good as your English. I love the Italian language.
I don't agree with you, but
okay, but I studied Italian 30 years ago. I wish I would have perfected it.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful language. But imagine a world where you decide, I'm going to go learn to speak English. Step one. Then imagine a world where you go, I'm going to go and learn from the world's greatest marketing and salesperson out of the United States how they became successful. Step number two.
Yeah.
Then let's say you go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get his sales training program and I'm going to master every single sales module, and I am going to be the perfect Italian Grant Cardone. Step three. Step four is you start teaching other people in Italy how to use Cardone U, and you're translating it for them.
Yeah.
But instead of you doing it with one other person, maybe you're doing it with 10 or 20. And step number 4 or 5 is then you go to the businesses and you're like, hey, if we could help sell more things for you, you can outsource sales to me. And next thing you know, you have businesses, automotive repair, pizzerias, coffee shops, doctors, opticians, hearing acustici. How do you say? Come si dice hearing?
Apparecchi acustici.
Okay, acustici.
Acustici.
So you know, all of a sudden, rental car companies, car sales companies, all of a sudden you have a salesperson you've trained and you're in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 companies, and you're making millions of dollars a year. It all started with a thought that you're going to learn English.
Yeah.
You're going to master sales. You're going to teach others to do what you learned to do. None of that required a whole bunch of money. It just required time.
And action.
And then action. but the action followed the intention.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn to speak English. I'm going to learn to speak English. I'm going to learn to master Grant Cardone's process. I'm going to learn to teach other people to do it. I'm going to go to other businesses and help them create more sales. And I'm going to create a team of 100 people doing it. And I'm going to have a $100 million or $50 million or $20 million company. And then for companies that I find that are underperforming with business owners that want to retire, I'm going to buy their businesses. And then the next iteration is one day you wake up and you've got 30 different companies with phenomenal salespeople in them, and all those businesses are bigger than they've ever been, and you have a portfolio of $1 billion of businesses, and someone comes along and says, man, you were so lucky.
You're so lucky because you are not in Italy, right? They see you are not in Italy.
But you could do all that right in Italy.
Yeah.
And I've seen people do it.
Yeah.
So I've been involved with, I don't know, $50 million of acquisitions in Italy.
Wow.
So you cannot tell me there aren't companies, corporations. There are public companies in Italy that would love to have remarkable salespeople. I know for a fact, Amplifon. If somebody went into Amplifon and showed Amplifon, I can reach out to more hearing aid people around the world, get you better deals, get you better pricing, get you bigger companies, teach people how to sell. They'd be like, thank you that this person fell into my business. So nobody can tell me there's not an opportunity anywhere in the world to improve whatever they've got going on.
And what do you say to people that want to do all this, but all the people around are telling them not to say that?
People will always tell you not to say it because they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, don't do that, because then if you do it and you succeed, I got to live with the fact that I was unwilling to do
because they quit and they have to find an excuse, right?
Yeah, esatto.
Yeah, esatto. That's great. So another question that in Italy, a lot of people, even with a company, tell to people that are successful, right? Why don't you stop? You have money. You have a private jet, right? Mm-hmm. Private jet. You have watches. Here we go. Yeah. Do you share this one with Grant, or you have one?
No, he has his own. He has a bigger one.
A bigger one, but you will beat him, right?
No, I mean, I get to share with him. You know, this is the value of having partners.
Yeah.
When we went to Europe, we took his plane and Elena's. The value of having partnership is when his plane goes into the shop and he doesn't have a plane, he uses my plane.
Yeah.
My wife is flying home right now, and she's on Grant and Elena's helicopter.
Wow.
So when you have partners,
two giants like
and
this.
I want Grant to have bigger things because it inspires me to do bigger.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And so why don't you stop? This is a challenge question for
because I love meeting people like you. To be honest,
Yeah.
I love helping. I love watching success. Just like we talked about with soccer, if you didn't have goals, there'd be no purpose for the game.
Yeah, you are dead, right?
You're dead. You're just boring, right? And so to me, the score, sure, part of the score is how good I am. But what's really fun with the score is how many other people can I get to score.
Wow.
And because I have a talent, I have a responsibility to share. And because I love people, I want to see them succeed. And because I'm smart about how I make money, helping other people make money, I win when they win when I win. Yeah. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about business is if you create a business system where everyone's winning together, then it's a lot more fun. You know, I think about when we were in Italy.
Yeah.
And
you were, just for the sake of make people know, you were in Italy like 3 weeks ago?
Twice. So we were there in June for a week.
Yeah.
And then we went back in August for a week. Yeah. And we were down Amalfi Coast.
It was vacation,
Rome.
right? You were with John Maxwell. Right?
It was vacation, but we were with Andrea Bocelli, Maxwell. It's something I've done every year for 10 years to support the Andrea Bocelli Foundation.
Wow. Congrats.
And so we were down there and we had a lot of friends there as well. So it's an event we do. And I took Grant and Elena with us to introduce him to all of our friends. And we were in Capri on the first trip and on the second trip. And the first trip we were on a 200 and something foot yacht, and we were anchored, and that was a big yacht, but we were surrounded by bigger yachts. And it's so, you can either look at those big yachts and be like, oh, nobody needs that, or you can look at them and go, man, I really want to work hard enough to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I think being around success is so inspirational. When I think of Italy's surrounded with constant success. But instead of viewing it saying, I'm not entitled to that, or I shouldn't want that, or people don't need that, if you change your thinking to how do I put myself in a position to choose to have something like that, it forces you to ask questions like, what am I doing every day? Am I maximizing my potential? Am I being creative enough? And I think the opportunity you have with us to put Grant Cardone and Brandon Dawson into Italy is I 100% know, based on my own international and global work, that there are a percentage of people that when you invite them to take charge in their life and you're willing to show and help them do it, they want it.
Yeah.
And I believe we can create an army of people who want it in Italy, have fun watching people succeed, and provide value into the communities they live in.
Wow, that's great. And could you talk about how did you, or do you usually constantly, you and Grant Cardone improve each other? Because you were talking about that like this morning, I guess, or yesterday.
Yeah, but I admire him so much, right?
Yeah.
And we're very competitive. We're very similar in some ways, and we're different in others. And so when he's thinking here, I realize I was here. When I go, you know what? If you're going to be thinking here, I'm going to think up here. He's like, you know what? If you're thinking here, I'm going to think up here. And instead of working against each other, we sit down together and figure out, how do we do it? What do we need to do? Who do we need to do it with? How do we need to do it? And we're always having that conversation. Grant, Elena, Natalie, and I, we sit when we're on our trips at least 1 hour every day with a notepad and say, how could we get bigger? What more could we do? What does it look like in 10 years from now? What would we be doing? What would we be saying? Who would we be talking to? And we write it all down, and then we ask ourselves when we come out of that, who can we call? Who can we meet right now to start that process?
Wow, that's great.
And this is what we do with each other, and this is why they're such great mentors, but also great business partners. And it gives me somebody to compete against, because I love the competition.
Yeah, it's like I do CrossFit, right?
Yeah.
And when you have a buddy with you train with,
You push harder.
You push harder, a lot harder, right? So that's great. You are like two giants that are multiplying their capability, right? One thing I wanted to ask you, because this is a thing that we lack in Italy, how important is to have a mentor? I mean, you had like you said this morning, like 10, 12 mentor. Yep. One is John Maxwell, I guess. Mm-hmm. How important it is, and why you should have a mentor?
Yes, very important. And my 12 mentors weren't all at the same time. It evolved. It changed as I realized I had gaps in my life. I found a mentor to
Usually you focus on one mentor.
Because you got to master what you try to do 10 things you can't master it. So leadership, John Maxwell. Operations, Jim Collins. Process, Michael Gerber. Cash flow and business building, Sharon Lechter. I can pin Hector Lamarck, mindset, Dr. Robert Anthony. Right? I know what I'm learning and who I'm learning from. Grant Cardone, thinking bigger and doing more, 10x. And so what's important is if you're just kind of drifting around and you're not trying to level up, you're not being intentional about where you want to go. So you remember the law of attraction, intention, action, traction. So if I want to become a great leader, that's my intention, then the action is, who should I learn from? Well, why not learn from the world's greatest, John Maxwell, and then attract. All of a sudden I get followers because I'm teaching what I learned based on what I did. So you just got to pick, if I wanted to be the best at making pizzas, I would go into Milan and I would ask as many people as possible, where is the best pizza in Milan? Who absolutely makes the best pizza in Milan? And I would go to that pizzeria and I'd say, I'm from America. You don't know me. I'm committed to staying in Milan as long as I have to until you sign off to say, I have learned to make pizza as good as you. And then I'm going to go open pizzerias in the United States, and I'm going to make you a 50-50 partner for teaching me.
Wow.
That's how you learn. You give something back in exchange. Yeah. And all of a sudden you take and create an opportunity, which is what you're doing. You're here, and you're going to take us back there.
Yep. And listen, this is amazing. Which is the moment that you realized that you should have a mentor? Just to continue the conversation.
Well, in reflection, I had more mentors than I thought I had. I didn't know to call them a mentor. I just knew I was learning from them. And I think most people, when they think back to some of the most important people in their life, they didn't know what word to put to it, but mentor's a good word. But once you realize you can pick your mentors intentionally based on what you want to learn, then anybody that's an example to what you want to do can become a mentor. The question you have to ask yourself is, what do I give to a mentor to teach me? Because if they're already successful, they're busy.
So you pay for them either, or?
You can, or you can read their books.
Yeah.
You know, John Maxwell put books out. I read all his books before I ever met him. He was a mentor to me, even though I'd never personally met him.
Yeah.
But when I met him, I knew his work so well, I made him interested in what I was doing, and then we became friends. And then we started working together. And now we're friends that work together and love each other. We're family. That's the evolution of the opportunity for a mentor.
Okay, so we are talking about billions, right? Till this moment, but you started from zero. So what would you say will be the first 5 steps, 3 to 5 steps for someone that is starting from zero, to not maybe collect cash from investors, to be their slave, or to auto-finance their activity?
50 years ago, there was a husband and wife in Milan, and they opened a hearing aid office, and they sold hearing aids to people in Milan. And they became successful because they were good at it. And then they opened another office, and they used the cash flow from the one office to open the next office. And then they did it again, and they did it again, and they did it again, and they did it again. And then one day they were the largest retailer of hearing aids in Italy. And then they realized they're buying all this specialty equipment to do hearing aid sales. So they started manufacturing their own specialty testing equipment. And that was called Amplade. The hearing aid retailer was called Amplifon. And they launched Amplade, which was medical equipment for testing hearing aid. And they realized if they needed it for them, maybe the rest of the world needs it. So they started selling Amplade, hearing testing equipment, all over the world. And then they started buying hearing aid offices in other countries, and now they're the largest retailer of hearing aids in the globe. Where's my phone? I don't have it. And I think they have their stock in 2005, their stock was $3 a share. I think they had $250, $300 million valuation. And today their stock, I believe, is $30-something a share, and they're worth billions of dollars.
Wow.
But it all started with a husband and wife selling hearing aids in a little office in Amplifon, named Amplifon. So things always start somewhere. And if you're successful, they generate the resources to start the next one and the next one and the next one. But I wonder what would have happened if that husband and wife never decided to open the second shop.
Like a lot of people does, right?
Because they were comfortable with one.
Yeah.
So, I'm a big Ferrari fan. I own multiple Ferraris.
How much? How many Ferrari?
Well, I've had 3 at once, but right now it's 2.
And do you have also other kind of vehicles?
I've got a couple Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of cars.
Yeah. I see on the social.
Rolls Royce, Bentleys. Yeah, I'm a big car guy.
Was yours the Bentley that was parked right here? Was yours?
Black,
beautiful.
beautiful.
Really well.
And I have a 1967 Eleanor Mustang. Some beautiful cars. But I think back to Enzo Ferrari and everything he went through to create one of the biggest brands in the world, right? Started out with a passion for cars. And so, there's a lot of big companies that have come out of Italy because somebody was passionate and committed to building something. So you asked me about starting a business. You just start. And you create value. And when you create value, the algorithm for success is start, duplicate, multiply.
And why some people, what do you think, why some people, which is the reason why a lot of people actually stop to the first success?
Because they never believed they were going to get that. Their intention wasn't to get big. It was just to their intention might have been to just be independent.
Why? Why?
Because they chose to stop.
Maybe where
it's probably the way they were raised, or it's their comfort level.
Yeah,
like a lot of people stop because they're comfortable because they want to control.
Yeah, they feel good right there, but they stop and they aren't satisfied by their life, right? And then they complain because if you stop, you get back, right?
So let me just tell you this. This is generally all over the world. I found this all over the world.
Yeah.
Fear, and then you can translate this in Italian.
Yeah.
Fear
Paura
is a bigger motivator
è un motivatore più grande
than opportunity.
Delle opportunità. Because fear of loss is greater in our mind, right? Than the things that we could achieve, right? There's a story that one mentor, a previous mentor that I had, which I really appreciate him for the results that I got at the beginning. He was telling us always this story because he's a marketing genius, right? And he was telling us, if you imagine you are sleeping right now, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and someone knock on your door, and you went there and say, oh, there are 4 wheels at the market for a discount of 50% discount. Go there. You take him for crazy. Yeah, you are crazy. Well, why you are waking me up in the morning, right? But if you're at 3 o'clock in the morning and someone knock on the door and is your neighbor and say you, oh, they are stealing all your wheel, you're losing something, right? This morning, for example, I wanted to buy Rolex here in Milan, in Miami, because in Milan we can't find them at the price, at the retail price. So I went there. I saw that last night when they were closing, and I didn't mean to buy that. This night I thought about, oh, it's good, it's right. I can do that because with the cash reserves, as you teach, I can do that. And so in the morning, I come to your meeting and I see, okay, I send my video maker to take the Rolex with my card. They don't take the card because it's the first Rolex I buy at a retail price, right? I go there, he goes there, and they say, no, without an ID and the real person, you can't buy that. I go there when the meeting was over for the lunch, and it was gone. They sold it. And it was like, I lost it. It was not a new thing, but I didn't think about that before to come in Miami, and even before yesterday night, right? And this morning it was like, oh no, it was like my leg, they cut my leg, right?
I know, I went over and bought it, and I have it in my office for $20,000 more.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You stole my 20,000 more for 40K from you. I will buy that because you own that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So talking about those shiny objects, right? What do you say? when do you say people with a company should buy them? Because sometimes when
so this is what we say, right? The rules of investing.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is an interesting topic in Italy.
First, invest in yourself, in your development.
Yeah.
Not in you having fancy things.
Yeah.
Second, invest in the thing that generates the income, the resource. Yeah. Third, when you have excess capital, invest in something that's going to produce passive income. Then, when you're producing more passive income than you earn, buy whatever you want.
Oh, that's great. Can I ask you, which kind of passive incomes do you have? Because I know Grant does a lot of stuff with real estate. I think that you are investing with him, I guess.
I'm outside of Grant. I'm the second largest investor in Cardone Capital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Grant first, me second.
So you go in with him, or you diversify in?
Before I met Grant, I also invest in mini storages. I've been doing that for 22 years. I invest in oil and gas resources. I invest in warehouses, medical buildings. So my passive income right now is probably $3 million a year, just straight passive.
Wow.
And my active income is about $22 million a year. Wow. So I make about $25 million a year. My goal is for my passive income to be $25 million a year.
And then, which will be the next step?
Well, when my passive income is $25 million a year, I expect my active income to be $250 million a year.
Because you guys always say you have to wait, you have to push till your passive incomes outreach the active one, right? But it doesn't happen, right?
Well, it does. You just keep playing that game.
Yeah.
That's a target. So I want my passive income to be 10% of my active income. If I keep raising my active income, I have to be strategic about where I'm investing for my passive income.
Wow.
But then I live off my passive income.
Yeah.
That way all my active income can get reinvested. See?
Yeah, that's great, because you don't want to keep money stable, right? You have to invest money.
It needs to make money. The purpose of money is to make you more money.
Yeah, that's great. Another question that Italian people always ask to successful people, which is your routine? I mean, when do you get up? When do you go to bed? What do you do?
Yeah, so my wife gets up really super early in the morning. I get up later. I stay up really super late. She goes to bed earlier.
What time? More or less?
I'm usually midnight.
Midnight.
She goes to bed at 9:30. She gets up at 6, maybe 5:30. I get up at 7:30 to 8:30.
Yeah.
But once I'm up, I'm just like
you hammer
all the way through. Like last night, I went to bed at the last 3 nights. I've gone to bed at 10:30, and I didn't even get home till 10:15 because I was at dinner with people.
Yeah.
Like I do the dinners with clients, dinners with prospective partners, dinner. You know, I do like the whole day through evening. She does the early morning to evening because she operates the companies and I build them.
Oh, that's great. I asked you just because in Italy we are curious. Which are the routines?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I work out occasionally. I try to I do intermittent fasting. I have a red light therapy set up, so when I'm back in Washington or back in Scottsdale, I'll do my red light therapy, and I like my massages.
Yeah.
Because I'm up on my feet all the time, and so probably my favorite routine though is when I'm on my airplane, and that's where I go into my state of future.
Yeah.
I see myself in the future. I can spend hours living 10 years out.
Wow.
And just feeling it, and what conversations and the kind of people I'm with and what we're talking about and what we're doing. And then when I come back, I start writing all that down.
Yeah. I was asking you that. So you every morning you write down your goals,
No,
right?
I don't need to do it every morning. I do it. My goals are so solidified.
Yeah.
That my goals are now intention statements.
Yeah.
So instead of writing a goal down, I want to do this. It's my intention to. And my intention statements are not changing. So I have a list in my book of my intention statements. So when you go into my book, you'll be able to see what my intention statements are. So intention statements are bigger than goals.
Wow, because they are right now so strong. You did this exercise so much that in the years, right now is so solidified in your head, right?
Yeah, it's like when I'm on the board and I go, we did this revenue, this revenue, this revenue, this revenue, this. I have my revenue planned out every single year until I get to $1 billion. Yeah. So I don't need to write my goal down is to generate 10% more sales. Screw that, I'm doubling. Like, my goal is to double every 2 years. Double. Yeah. I don't need to.
And you've done that. We talked about that like a few minutes ago with the new company that you run with the Grant Cardone, right? So you started from 0, 1 year. You were like 6 million.
No, first few months I did a couple million.
Couple million, okay.
Then I did 14 million.
In the second year.
Then I did 38 million. 83 million, 135 million.
In 4 years. Amazing. Will you talk just 2 seconds about your book?
Yeah. The 9-figure mindset. I mean, this really, it's universal.
Yeah.
I think that the truth is this book right here, and feel free to translate it for people at home.
Yeah.
Like this book is about how to move to the things that you have decided you want. Yeah. And that's really what this book is about. And it could be different things for different people, but the point is once you learn how to do it, it doesn't matter if it's personal, professional, or financial. You learn the skill to do it, you program your mindset to do it, you do it.
And you attract that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Can I get one copy before you release that?
Yeah, I'm sure we have some pre-copies already.
Wow, that's great. Thanks so much. One last question, because we ran the one person podcast in Italy. Yeah. We call that because you guys are 1%. And what do you think? What do you say? What does it mean to be in 1% for you? To be part of the 1%?
To be part of the 1%, it means you can help 99%. You have so much opportunity to help other people. If you're in the 1% category, that means everything that you've done, you can teach to 99%. That tells me how much opportunity there is to help people in this world.
Wow.
If I was in the 10%, I'd only be able to help 90%. If I was in the bottom 30%, I'd only be able to help 30%.
So it's the capacity you have, right?
Yeah, if I'm in the top 1%, I have almost 100% of people I can help. So instead of viewing it that, I'm in the elite, it's like I have worked so hard to get where I'm at that I know I can help 99% of anybody who wants to work with me. And that just gives me unbelievable enthusiasm, excitement, and energy that I can go out and help 99% of the world.
I think this is the best answer I got, episodes, of course, of this podcast. I think that's the best way. I think I'll write down that and I put on my walls, on our office's walls, because really, really, you quote as I expected, you quote the real essence of 1%.
And you translate it, you talk about it, and you send me something in Italian that I can put on my wall. Yeah. That's my quote, that you've produced my quote.
Yeah, I will send you when we're back to Italy.
Let's do it.
That's great. Thanks so much, Brandon, to host me here, because it's your studio. It's wonderful. You are my mentor. I've been following you since 2 years. We grew a lot because of you. Thanks so much. And we'll be growing a lot in the next years because of you.
Can't wait to do an event with you in Italy.
I just brought a check yesterday for you, so I'm with you.
Giusto, corretto, perfetto.
Next time, la prossima volta che viene Brandon in Italy, lo porto davanti ai nostri clienti, così fa uno speech. Next time you will be coming in Italy, I'll write a text to you and you come in Italy to speak to our clients. It will be amazing. Perfect. Man. Amazing. Thanks
Happy
so much.
to do it. Love it.
Yeah. Thanks, guy.
Awesome.
Bene ragazzi, allora questo qui è stato il podcast con Brandon Dawson, ripeto è il mio grandissimo mentore Brandon Dawson, e spero vi sia piaciuto. A me, io ho preso un sacco di appunti mentalmente, adesso li scrivo subito se no me li dimentico e li implemento subito appena mentre gli facevo le domande, e è stato veramente un grande piacere. It was a pleasure to meet with you here.
Piacere mio.
And see you next time. Ci vediamo la prossima volta con Dawson, con Brandon Dawson, perché sicuramente proverò a farlo venire di nuovo. See you next time, because I will ask you to meet again, maybe in Milan for the next
Perfetto.
episode. Thanks so much.
Yeah, okay.